Dog Squad, I will be predicting the NFC South's 2023 NFL schedules. But before we get into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you miss one of my videos so you can be part of the Dog Squad that way. Also, make sure you drop a like down this video for the subscribers. Well, it looks like we couldn't do 400 by June 1st, so I'll make another goal, which will be June 1st tomorrow. So somehow we do a miracle and somehow get about 40 in the middle of the night. So I don't know how that's gonna happen because it expires in like 4 hours. So that's fine. Anyways, but thank you so much for the support on this series, for the Nintendo series, for everything y'all have done. Hopefully we get to 400 subscribers soon, and hopefully we can get to by the goal I put out tomorrow. Now, without further ado, let's get to these predictions. Alright, just want to let you guys know, if you do not remember, this is for the May/June predictions. So I will do predictions later in August, September, probably around then, the end of August and beginning of September, that I will be doing any changes I need to. This is just right now based off what I know, based off what was drafted, based off what happened last season, all the predictions going based off what I think. More research will be put in, though, once it gets close to the NFL season. This is right now for what I think. Any changes that need to be made later in the year, that will be good. For right now, we're just having a little fun, seeing predictions. Not like I'm picking crazy picks, but I'm just predicting, you know what? This team has the skill to do that. We're going to go with that. This team could, I think this team is capable of losing that game. All that stuff, so I just want you to know. We're going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule now to start off. So, I've got my handy-dandy schedule right here that I have, so here we go. Let me go ahead and pull it up. So we got right now, we have the Buccaneers starting off the season with a loss. We don't without Tom Brady and all of them. I know you got Mike Evans still, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it. You got Baker Mayfield playing, but he's gonna get used to a new team. I know he's played on NFL before, but he will lose to the Vikings. Start off, then he will. I have him in the first past video losing to the Bears, so that gives them an 0-2 record. Then they do lose to the Eagles, of course. Sadly, I would have to pick them losing that game, 0-3. Then they would go 1-3 with their first win against the New Orleans Saints, but then they would turn around and lose to the Detroit Lions. Then I have them also losing to the Falcons, and then they do surprisingly beat the Buffalo Bills, because I think they are capable of doing that. They'll have some up and down, they'll have some downs, then they'll want to get into it, then they'll beat the Bills at their home stadium. I think they're not going to go 1-6, but they will beat the Houston Texans in Houston. I do think the Texans will do well this year, but that's more to talk about. So I think the Buccaneers will win, and then I do think they will be the Titans. So I think they're capable to do a lot of things this year. I think they are Buccaneers are capable to do a lot of things next year, but I don't know if they'll be consistent. Like them losing to the 49ers next, 4-6, then they turn around and lose to the Indianapolis Colts, beat the Indianapolis Colts, go 5-6. Then they do beat the Panthers 6-6, but they also then lose at the Atlanta Falcons to go 6-7. Then they also lose, they beat the Packers to go 7-7. Then they do lose to the Jaguars to go 7-8. Turn around and beat the Saints to go 8-8. But then they have to battle out the Panthers. Well, for the division, I'm already spoiling it for you. But they're both 8-8. And Buccaneers end up losing that one to go 8-9. And that means you already know the Panthers' record, 9-8. But we'll explain that more when it gets to there. Now we're at the Carolina Panthers, a Bryce Young team, which they're hopefully, maybe they will win it. I don't know. Maybe they'll do better next year. I have them doing better, but we don't know how. Did Bryce Young do well in OTAs? Are they picked a lot to win a lot of games? Who knows? So I got them beating the Falcons and the Saints to start off the season, going 2-0, but then they do lose those undefeated hopes, losing to the Seattle Seahawks, but then they do beat the Minnesota Vikings 3-1. Then they lose 2 in a row to the Lions and the Dolphins, go 3-3, come off a bye week, and they win 2 in a row. Should I say 3 in a row? 6-3, beating the Texans, Colts, and the Bears. Now, I would say the Texans were able to do it, but the Panthers have a lot. I think the Panthers will be a good home team this year. It won't be a sad team, I feel like. They'll have a lot of spirit under just going with Bryce Young under the belts. I think they'll have a lot of spirit coming in next year. So who knows? NFL is just crazy. So who knows who will be the top next year? Then they do lose to them boys, so 6-4. Lose to the Titans 6-5. Lose to the Bucs 6-6. Then they lose to the Saints 6-7. They were 6-3 at one point. Then they lost 4 in a row to teams that they could have easily beaten, but I know that they probably couldn't. 7-7 to beat the Falcons to turn that around. Then they do beat the Packers. 8-7, lose to Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. 8-8. Like I said earlier, they battled that out for the division, but 9-8. But were they battling out for the division, or were they battling out for just a better record? Let's find out as we move on to the Atlanta Falcons. We're on to the Atlanta Falcons. So I have them starting off, losing the Panthers as you saw last time, 0-1. Beating the Packers to go 1-1, losing to the Detroit Lions to go 1-2. Then they also lose to the Jags to go 1-3. But then they do beat the Texans to go 2-3 since they're hosting that. 3-3 after beating the Commanders. Then they do beat the Bucks 4-3. Then they also do beat the Titans to go 5-3. So now they're on a roll. They lose that to the Minnesota Vikings. Nice job, Falcons. Way to keep a lead, but I can't say anything. Then 6-4 as they turn around and beat the Colts, go have a bye week, and then they turn around and beat the Saints again, 7-4. Then they do beat the Jets. I do have them beating the Jets, 8-4. I know they can Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers, you know, I know they're at home, but I can see Bijan Robinson. I see him as a good player. I think they'll be able to turn their quarterbacks around this year. 8-4, they'll beat them. 9-4 then after beating the Bucks, but then they will lose to the Panthers. 9-5, they will beat the Colts. 10-5, then they'll lose to the Bears. Don't know how, but they will. Somehow they'll get all, you know, they won't fight hard. 10-6, then they will go ahead and somehow beat the Saints. I don't know. Have them beating the Saints. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and change that. But they do want to keep their record. Let me go ahead and keep them with the Saints. 11-6. So what did I have the Saints? Now let's go. Was it last but not least, or is it last and least? Let's find that out. Moving on to the Saints. Do I think the Saints will be able to regroup? What will they do? Let's just find out what I said. They do start off beating the Titans. Go 1-0. That gives them hope. 1-1. Then you lose their first game to the Carolina Panthers. Lose to the Packers. Lose to the Buccaneers. 1-3. Then you do beat the Patriots. Go 2-3. Texans get their first win against an NFC South team. Took long enough, even though I think they'll do well. 2-4. Then the 2-5. You lose to the Jags. Then you verse the Colts and, well, win that game. 3-5. Then you lose to the Bears to go 3-6. Then you lose to the Vikings to go 3-7. Now, as I'm clear, the Saints have not had the best seasons the past 2 years, and now they're going off 3-7 before a bye week. Well, it's only going to get worse from there. They go 3-9 after losing to the Falcons and the Lions. Then they do beat the Carolina Panthers, which somehow they did, but they did. So I'm going to count that in. 4-9. Then they lose to the Giants. Well, I don't like that. To go 4-10 though. So I mean, I guess that's good. I don't know though. I don't like the Giants winning, but if they're gonna beat a bad team, then okay, we'll go ahead and beat the bad team. I don't care. 4-11, losing to the Rams. Well, it looks like it's not gonna get easier from there because they do lose the next 2 games to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. So they go 4-13 that year. So. Well, here are your NFC standings. So, I mean, I had the Saints. I don't usually pick the bad teams, but man, oh man, they got I don't use it, but going 4-13, I just don't have any faith in them this year. Prove me wrong, Saints. Prove me wrong, but I just don't have any faith in you. But I guess you could do well. I mean, if you do, I won't be surprised because Saints have somehow always been able to find ways to win before. Not saying the past 2 years. They were good until they lost Jameis Winston. Then they lost him again. So if he comes back, I don't know if he's going to get hurt again or not. So as you saw in the NFC standings just a second ago, I got the Falcons with that 11-6 record. The Panthers at that behind them with the 9-8. The Buccaneers with an 8-9, and the Saints going at the bottom of the bucket, bottom of the barrel at a 4-13. So that is the NFC South predictions 2023. NFL season. Those are my May/June predictions for the NFC South, and I really hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to be part of the Dog Squad, and hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Hopefully you like this, and I'll be making more. Almost done with the NFC. We just got the NFC West and then we'll have the AFC before I go to August. I'll do a lot more research there, and I'll do a lot more, and it will just any changes. You know, I have research based off based off what I believe and all that. But if any changes I need to make, which I'll probably make a lot of changes based off more research, because I think, like, will the Saints keep doing what they're doing? Will the Falcons use Bijan Robinson? I think they will, honestly. Will Bryce Young do well? And will Baker Mayfield stand at it with Mike Evans and the Bucks? Well, you already saw my predictions for that, so that's what I think. But NFL's hard, so make sure to like this video, subscribe to be part of the Dog Squad, and stay tuned for more sports and shorts. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe videos should be wrapping up tomorrow. I'll put a new poll. It'll be the Cup. Final Cup series before we move on to Versus DLC, and me and my friend will challenge me. More information coming out on that later. Maybe it will. So, hopefully so, and I'll put that poll up tomorrow for the next game, so you'll probably like the poll too. So, see you Dog Squad.